Hello, receiving students, ATs, and teachers. Thank you. Take your seat. Receiving students and ATs. Our today's lesson topic will be on converting between fractions and decimal. So that will be our lesson for today. Now, before we go into our discussing how to convert between fractions and decimals, let us look at what we should achieve by the end of this lesson. What to achieve? Know the method on how to convert between fractions and decimals. And understand the relationship between the fractions and decimals. So these are the two main objectives that we need to understand in this lesson, or we will have to achieve in this lesson. To know how we can convert between fractions and decimals back to fractions, and also to understand the relationship, what relationship the fraction and decimal has. So this will be the main topic of the lesson. Now, receiving students and ATs, I have a question on the screen. The question is 0.25 the same as 1/4? If you say yes, receiving students and ATs, if you say yes, raise your hands up. If you think that 0.25 is the same as 1/4, you put your hands up. You are telling me that yes, it is same. If you think that 0.25 is not the same as 1/4, then you raise your hand. That means that you don't agree with that. Okay? So, who thinks that 0.25 is the same as 1/4? Please raise your hands up, receiving students. Good. Who thinks that 0.25 is not the same as 1/4? Good. Now, let's prove that. We are going to prove that. I can see that some of you raised your hands up, some did not. So, we are going to prove that whether 0.25 is the same as 1/4 using the fraction wall. Remember, in our first lesson, we did use fraction wall. So, we are going to prove that by using the fraction wall. Now, receiving students and ATs, on the wall I have the fraction wall there. We are trying to prove whether 0.25 is the same as 1/4. This is the fraction wall here, and here we have the scale or the number line. Okay? Starting from 0 all the way to 1. So you can see the scale there. Now, as you all know, this is 1/4. 1/4. This line is 1/4. From here to here is 1/4. Can someone come to the front and tell me where 0.25 is on this number line? Where is 0.25? Let's have Rachel. Rachel, on this number line, can you show where 0.25 is? Very good. Class, is this 0.25? Yes, this is 0.25. Now, let's see that if 0.25 is the same as 1/4. This is 1/4, class. Can you see from here to here? Now I am going to put this strip of paper over 1/4. Okay, that's 1/4 there. Our friend Rachel said that this is 0.25, and she is correct. Okay, so from here to here is 0.25. Now, I will put this on the scale here, this strip of paper. receiving students and 80s. Is 0.25 the same as 1/4? Yes, you can see. If I put this pointer here, you can see that this is 1/4. So the size of 1/4 is the same as 0.25. So can you see the relationship between decimal and fraction? So 1/4 is the same as 0.25. If we use fraction wall and the scale, we can see the relationship between decimal and fraction. Now, what about 0.3 and 3/10? 0.3 and 3/10. Can someone come to the front and tell me where is 0.3? On the scale, yeah? Who can come up to the front and show me 0.3 on the scale? Okay, let's have our friend here, receiving students and 80s. Our friend has volunteered to show us where 0.3 is. Point, where? Receiving students and 80s. Is she correct? Yes. Very good. This is 0.3. Now, where is 3/10? 3/10. We have 1/2, half, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, 1/7, 1/8, 1/9, and 1/10. So, where is 3/10? My friend, can you show us where 3/10 is? Hebi. Hebi? Habi? Habi, can you point? Can you show where 3/10 is on this fraction wall? Okay, you point. Where is 3/10? Point, point. Okay. Class, Habi says this one. Is he correct? Thank you, Habi. Very good. Good try. But this is not 3/10. What is this, class? 4/10. So this will be 3/10. Now, let's see that if 3/10 is the same as 0.3. So, from here to here is 3/10. Okay? 1/10, 2/10, and 3/10. So, let's see if and that is 3/10. Now, receiving students and 80s, is 3/10 the same as 0.3? Yes. The size of 3/10 fraction, 3/10 is the same as 0.3. Can we try last one? Okay. Receiving students and 80s, I will have one of the model class students to come up and pick where 6/7 is on the fraction wall. 6/7. Yes, let's have our friend here. 6/7. Class, is she correct? Yes, this is 6/7. Okay? 6/7. So this line here is 6/7. Now, what is the decimal of 6? If you change 6/7 to decimal, what will be the decimal of 6/7? 6 over 7 to decimal will be what? Okay. Six over 7. What will be 6 over 7 in decimal? Receiving students and 80s. Our friend has shown us where 6 over 7 is on the fraction wall. Now my question is, what will be 6 over 7 in decimal?
To find out
Yeah.
decimal.
I explained the steps.
No,
No, not at all.
ask.
How can you change 6 over 7 to decimal? So what is 6 over 7 in decimals? So in other words is, you are changing 6 over 7 to decimal. So how can you change that to decimal? Receiving students and 80s, you can discuss in your group how you can change 6 over 7 to decimals. Receiving teacher, please encourage your students to discuss the answer. What answer did you get? What? What answer did you get? Graham, what was your answer? 0.37? 87. Is that all? What answer did you get? Yes, you have to use your head to find out how you can change 6 over 7 to decimal. Okay. So did you find out what is it? 0.85? Is there any other decimal numbers? Any other decimal numbers? Okay. Michael. Okay, let's see what we have. What is 6 over 7 in decimals? Can we have some answers? Okay, let's have one of our friends there. Michael, get ready. Yes.
0.85.
0.85. Any other different answers? Michael? Same. Okay. Now, any other different answers? Yes, let's have this group here.
8.5.
8.5. Sorry, what's your name? Fiona, can you explain how you got 8.5? What did you do to get 8.5? Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's have our friend there. Can you explain how you got your answer?
Divide 7 into 6.
Divide 7 into 6. So you are saying divide 7 into 6. Divide 7 into 6. Okay, class, divide 7 or 7 into 6. You can either say 7 into 6 or divide 7 into 6. Or in other words, 6 divided by 7. So what your friend did, she divided 7 into 6. And she got this answer 0.85. Now, can we prove that answer? Okay, because we have two different answers here. Seven into 6 cannot, so we add 0 and put decimal point and add 0. 7 into 60? 8. 8 times 7? 56. How many remainders from? We have 4 remainders. 7 cannot go into 4, so we add 0. 7 into 40? 5. 35. How many remainders? 5. We add 0. 7 into 50? How many times? 7 times. 49. So, you will see that it will not stop. The number keep on continuing. So, what this group has given, 0.85, is still correct because they have given the answer to 2 decimal places. So 6 over 7 in decimal, approximately it is 0.85. 0.85. So let's prove that here by using fraction wall. Class, from here to here is 6 over 7. So here from here to here 6 over 7. Now where is 0.85? Can you show me where 0.85 is on the scale? Where? Where is it? Point? Okay. Class, your friend says here. Is it correct? Yes. Okay, let's see. I will put this and prove it. So your friend said 0.85 is somewhere there. But this is 0.6. 6 over 7 is the fraction here. And where is 0.85? Is it here or up here? This here is 0.85. Okay, that's 0.85. Okay, this is 6 over 7. You know why it went over 0.85? Because of the fraction here is not infinitive. It's not finitive. It did not stop. It is continuous. It continued. So that's why 0.65, 6 over 7 as fraction, as decimal, is not 0.85. It is, the number continues. So approximately 6/7 is about here. So it is not definitely 0.85. That's 0.85. Okay. Now, receiving students and ATs, I have just shown you the relationship between decimals and fractions. Now we will go to one of the activities. So when you are dividing, changing fractions to decimal or decimals to fractions, you rewrite or write the denominator as 10, 100, or 1000, etc. And then you simplify where necessary. Now, class, I have an activity for you on the screen. Can you change the fraction 1/40 to decimals? To decimals. I'll give you 2 minutes to do that. You should discuss your answers. Shouldn't take you that long. What's your answer? Still thinking. The answer already? Okay, let's check the answer. What is 1/40 in decimal? 1/40 in decimal. What is 1/40 in decimal? Yes, let's have a Rosen.
0.025.
Very good. Rosin, your friends and I would like to know how you got that 0.25. Can you explain?
Forty divided by 1.
40 divided by 1. She divided 40 by 1 and got 0.25. Class, is that correct? You divide 40 by 1. Do you get 0.25? Okay. It is not 40 divided by 1. It is 1 divided by 40. So, 1 divided by 40, you get 0.25, and not 40 divided by 1 where you get 0.25. Rosalind, thank you for your answer there and explanation on how you get your answer. Now, receiving students and ATs, when you want to change fractions to decimal, It is not that difficult. You divide the numerator by its denominator. So, 1 over 40, 1 is the numerator and 40 is the denominator. So you divide the numerator by its denominator. So that's how you change the fraction to decimal. Now, receiving students and ITs, we will go into our main activity. On the board, I have the first learning activity for you. There are two learning activities. Number one, we have A and B. Change the following fractions to decimals. How you will do this activity? You will do it in groups. So I would like you to quickly copy down the questions. Receiving students and ITs, I'm giving you 1 minute to quickly copy down the questions. Okay. The next question number 2. Change the following decimals to fractions. Change the following decimals to fractions. We have A and B. Again, I'm giving you 1 minute to complete that activity. Receiving teacher, please encourage your students to work in groups. Encourage them to discuss their answers. This is a group activity, so everybody has to discuss to come up to get the answer. Are we discussing? You have to discuss your answers. This is not it's not an exercise really. This is something that you should do in your group so that you learn. It's an learning activity. So you have to sit down and you work. Ikaw ko na saving ideas na kung answer. Pero kung ito yung value, ang panigin mo sa kong pamilit lang naman ng for the answer, sir. All the answer. Which one is that? Second question. Kami yung calculator dia. Calculator. Okay, receiving students and ATs, we will check our answers. I think 3 minutes is up, so we will have to check our answers. Let's have the first row. The first row to give us the answer for number 2, exercise number 2 or activity number 2, and the second row will give us the answer for activity number 1. So if you have your answers, let's have second row to give us the answers for exercise number 1 or learning activity number 1. Yes, come up to the board and write your answer. Receiving students and ATs, Diane is going to present what her groups have got. Okay. So can you put the answer 3/5 equal to 0.6 on the fraction here? 0.6. Good, okay. The next one is 17/20. The next group, got the answers? Mic. Where's the mic? Mic. Mic. Where's the mic? Mic. Okay, Diane, sorry. Can you explain how you got your answer?
The question says, change the following fractions to decimal. Letter A is 3/5. If you want to change the fraction to decimal, you have to divide the numerator and the denominator. Okay, 3 is divided by 5 equals 0.6. The decimal for 3 on 15 is 0.6. And B is 17 on 20. 17 divided by 20 equals 0.85. That's how I got my answer for A and B.
Very good. Let's give Anna, Diane and her group 2 big claps. Thank you. Yes, the 2 answers are correct. Receiving students at 80s. Our next learning activity, which we are supposed to correct here, we will correct it in our next lesson. Now, before I run down the lesson, I would like you to copy down these additional activities. 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Somebody should jot down the additional activity. Receiving students and ATs, to sum up our lesson, let's look at the key steps there. When you change decimal to fraction, you have to rewrite the denominator as 10, 100, or 1000, etc. So to change the decimal to a fraction, rewrite the denominator as 10, 100, 1000, or etc. And when you are trying to change fraction to decimal, you have to divide the numerator by the denominator, or by its denominator. So these are the key points that you must remember when you are changing fractions to decimal and decimal to fractions. Receiving students and ATs, our key phrase for today's lesson is converting between fractions and decimals. Receiving students and ATs, this has brought us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you very much for your participation.